How's it, guys? Welcome to the Wild Protea. My name is Clinton John. Thanks again once for joining me. And like I start every week, what I'm trying to do here is trying to create a fan channel for South African fans, just to get together, talk about, chat about, sport, local sport, international sport, whatever the case may be. Just the South African version of, some things that I've seen on sort of social media and YouTube and that sort of thing. So trying to get it going. I've got the page up on Facebook called the Wild Protea, so go like the page. Guys, if you see it, share it, please. The only way that we can get this thing out and going is by actually, investing and helping me out a bit. So if you see it, like it, share it. Be much appreciated. If you're watching on YouTube, like and subscribe as well. So yeah, it's been away for a while. I was sick 2 weeks ago. You could barely hear me talk, and then last week, life gets in the way sometimes. Was a bit busy, and I couldn't really post a video. Didn't have time to do a video, but I have been continuing to post on the Wild Protea on the fan page, and it's seen some growth in the last couple of weeks, and I'm grateful for that. And I just want to thank everyone who shared my posts, everyone who likes what I'm doing here. It's great to see some a little bit momentum picking up as well. So straight into the sports stuff now. International cricket returns tonight. Yeah, so Proteas take on England tonight in a T20 game at Newlands. Unfortunately, we can't be there. I mean, I stay in Cape Town, so it would be lovely to go watch the boys. But, unfortunately, COVID has forced us to wait a bit. There's talk that they might get people in the stands pretty soon, whether it be at a 10% or 5% capacity. They don't know yet. But hopefully we'll have more news on that. But just talking about the cricket, I think it's going to be an interesting clash. On my page, I said, the Proteas are going to win. I think it'll be a close game. Obviously England are a very strong side. The likes of Jason Roy, Johnny Bairstow, Josh Butler. I don't think Stokes is there quite yet. Chris Jordan. They've got Jofra Archer. They've got Mark Wood. So they've got all their bases pretty much covered. Adil Rashid, also one of the better spinners in T20 cricket, white ball cricket. So they've got pretty much all their bases covered. But I think we're looking at the squad, the 24-man squad that was sort of picked by the selectors. I think we've got all our bases covered as well. I think there's enough all-round cover there. Unfortunately, Wild Protea went down with an injury, so he won't be available for this one. But I think that it's going to be. I think with this squad, we're searching for a certain way of playing, maybe a certain strength and depth. I think we're going to try a lot of different combinations between now and the World Cup. So I think that's why also there's such a big squad. They also picked such a big squad so they could have an inter-squad game. But unfortunately, I think there was 2 or 3 positive COVID tests. Those players then had to isolate, and now they couldn't have the inter-squad game. So that's maybe hampered our preparation a bit. England were able to have their inter-squad game. A couple of players getting some runs there. But yeah, I got to back the boys, and I got to say the Proteas are going to come out on top in this one, hopefully. So we'll see what happens there. And then just looking down my page here, what else is on? Yeah, the 4-day cricket. So sticking with cricket there, the 4-day cricket has been fantastic to watch on SuperSport, and they've heard our cries, and it's only available on the app or on the website at the moment, but at least it's available. At least you can get it somehow. There are some loopholes to this DSTV app and website system. I'm not going to go into that whole thing, but there are some loopholes there. If you want to watch some cricket, you can there are some ways you can go about it, put it that way. But yeah, it was good. Lions chased down a record score with a record opening partnership, and it would have been a travesty not to have seen that game. I think it was Dominic Hendricks and damn it, I forget the other guy's name now. That's unfortunate. But yeah, Dom Hendricks and his opening partner, I'll get his name, but it'll come to me at a later stage. Richards, I think it was. Richards. Can't remember his first name though, but yeah. Anyway, Dominic Hendricks and his partner Richards opening the batting, and they took control from pretty much ball one. But I think also the Knights lacked in their second innings effort. George Coetzee, he struggled with the ball a bit. He's still young, and I think he's supposed to be the leader of that attack. But Daza struggled as well in his second innings. So yeah, it wasn't. The Knights were in charge for 3 days in this game, and pretty much turned at the end of the third day, and then fourth day was just all the Lions. So it was wonderful to be able to watch that game and to see the guys perform, and maybe if you guys putting their hands up for SAA honours or making the selectors look at them. But yeah, certainly good to watch and good to have 4-day cricket back on the map, as it were. Then also just from the 4-day series, Aiden Markham stamped his authority on the game against the Warriors. Unfortunately, the Titans didn't manage to win that game from his perspective, but he got two hundreds in that game. Superb from Aiden. Also batting at the top of the innings, so maybe he's taking a claim for an opening berth. Dean Alga's always 1 or 2 bad innings. No, I don't want to say bad innings, but 1 or 2 missed opportunities away from having a look at him. Peter Malan's just come in. Obviously, he's done okay for the moment. I would stick with Peter and Dean for now, but sure, I don't know. Eventually, if Aiden keeps scoring runs like this, you're gonna have to fit him in somewhere. A lot of people want to see him take the Test captaincy. You heard guys like Jeremy Fredericks, Brett Proctor saying that they would love to see him as a Test captain. They would all endorse that movement because they say that it might help settle him down, give him responsibility and stuff like that. My thing is with that, I think he's underperformed really at Test level. He's got that wonderful 100 against Australia, but it's just been inconsistent in the Test arena. He always seems to come down and score runs, and it's tough to put a finger on what exactly has gone wrong for Aiden, because he's such a wonderful player. You just think it's a matter of time before he gets runs in the Test arena, and hopefully he can get back in that side, make the side. I do think he would make a pretty good captain. I'm not 100% sure on giving him the captaincy. I think maybe he should just concentrate on scoring runs. I think that's going to be too much of a burden to place on him coming straight back into the side. So that's my opinion on that one. Let me know what you guys think. Obviously, just going through some stuff here. I'm trying to get to the beginning of the week. Yes, I posted some Super Rugby stats earlier on this week. There's just a graphic from SA Rugby magazine showing all the stats from Super Rugby Unlocked. Some interesting names there. Not all the names you would expect to be at the top. One that jumps out for me, the move from the Bulls to the Stormers for Warwick Galant. He's been absolutely amazing. One of the standouts for the Stormers in the Super Rugby Unlocked competition. I felt that in that competition, the Stormers and the Bulls game, I thought that was always going to be the game that sort of settles the competition. Whoever one of those sides who won that game was pretty much going to win the competition. You could see pretty much that those were the two best sides. The Stormers were very inconsistent, unfortunately, from a Cape Town Boykies perspective. I would have loved the Stormers to have won that competition, but it wasn't meant to be. I just think, over the last sort of 3 weeks, the Stormers started to come together as a team, and I just think before that, there were a lot of individual errors and guys trying to do too much to get the game going, and I think that Dobby, the coach, just got the guys playing in a better, more structured way, and I think that's really helped. And also, like I say, Warwick Kalant has been absolutely amazing. Go look at the stats on the page, guys. Some interesting reading there. Yeah. So just having a look. Yeah, and the last week's game between the Sharks and the Stormers was obviously cancelled due to COVID. COVID seems to be wreaking havoc with the rugby, and I'm not sure what sort of protocols they have in place. Because I know in England or in the football side of things, when the player gets a positive COVID test, they then self-isolate, but the team goes on. So I'm not sure if rugby's a bit different, where you're pretty much in close contact all the time. So maybe that's the difference. I'm not 100% sure, guys. If you know anything about it, feel free to correct me or comment and let me know what the story is. But I just feel like it's such a disservice that one guy comes in contact and then now the whole squad can't play. It just doesn't make sense to me. I know they're trying to protect the players and that sort of thing, but yeah, we've just got to find a better way, because I don't think you can cancel games, because there was a real chance that, okay, the Pumas didn't really show up against the Bulls, but there was a real chance that if the Pumas had showed up against the Bulls, that the Sharks and Stormers game could have been potentially like a final. Whoever won would have gone top of the log and won the competition and so on and so forth. But we didn't get to see that exciting end because there was nothing left to play for on the last weekend of Super Rugby Unlocked. And for me, it was very, very dull rugby weekend for me, because I didn't even want to watch the games, to be honest with you. I didn't really watch the games, to be honest with you, because there was no point in watching the games, because even if the Bulls had lost that game, it wouldn't have mattered, because the other game was cancelled. So it's obviously we've got to find ways in these trying times to at least we have sport on the TV, but I think there's got to be a way around this COVID situation, because you can't just have a couple of positive tests and then the whole game is cancelled. I think that's a bit ridiculous. If you look what guys are doing overseas, managing to isolate players. Even in the American football, one player goes down, and I think it was the New England Patriots. Their quarterback went down, most important player on the field with COVID. He self-isolated. They went on, they played. They lost the game, obviously, because now they've got a backup quarterback in. But my thing is, the show must go on. I understand that in South Africa, maybe there are stricter COVID rules or regulations, but I just feel the show must go on. And yeah, it's something that we need to get right. Yeah. And then Siya Kolisi. Yeah, Siya Kolisi is back in action for Western Province. Now, this is a massive boost for them. Obviously, Siya went down with an injury. I think it was back in week 2 or week 3 of the Super Rugby competition. He is fit to play now. Good to have the skipper back. Obviously, Western Province Boyke here speaking. But yeah, good to have the skipper back. I think he'll bring... he obviously brings leadership. He brings physicality. He brings a World Cup winning captain. What more do you want than that? So yeah, I think he brings a lot to this team. I think the team's coming together anyway. I think Western Province. I was going to about to say the Stormers. I think Western Province are going to win this opening Currie Cup game. I just have a feeling that after that humbling at Loftus, I think the boys are going to be really up for this one. I've picked I was going to say Stormers again. I've picked Province by 3 on Super Brew. I've put it up on my page as well. Have a look. I might bear the brunt here again. They've disappointed me in the past, but hey, look. This is what being a supporter is about, supporting your team through thick and thin, and that's, that's the moral of the story, really. And it's tough to be a supporter out here these days, as a United supporter and a Stormers supporter, and a Kaizer Chiefs supporter. It's tough out here at the moment, Chiefs are absolutely nowhere. United are, well, they frustrate every single week. And then, Western Province are always there and thereabouts, but never quite, or the Stormers rather, are there and thereabouts, but never quite seem to get over the hump. I thought this was the year, us and the Sharks were really, I think, in contention for the normal Super Rugby competition. But yeah, it wasn't to be in the end. COVID wrecked all those plans that I had. And anyway, that's a story for another day. But yeah, just having a look here. Guys, there hasn't actually been that much news this week. Last but not least, on a sort of sadder note, obviously you guys will have seen yesterday the news that Diego Maradona has passed away. Now, obviously, being only 29 years old, I didn't get the chance to watch Diego. I've seen the clips on YouTube. I've seen, the hand of God. And I've seen what an absolute magician this man was. Watching his warm-ups for Napoli. And, it's still, Napoli have never reached the heights that they reached with Diego. They've had some pretty good teams. Carlo Ancelotti was there. They've had some really good players come through the ranks at Napoli, but they've never quite gotten to that level again. And it just shows the magnitude of the man, that he was able to lift that team to, I think, 2 Serie A titles, and their only Serie A titles for that matter. So, rest in peace to Diego. Obviously, hopefully his family, we send condolences to his family at this time. And it's a sad day for football. And guys, what I will say is, I've seen a few things on Twitter and wherever else, not having a dig, but sort of having a go at Maradona for his drug use and sort of that sort of thing. And guys, seriously, now is not the time. He was a genius footballer. He was a rock star footballer. Let's just celebrate him for what he was. And give his family time to mourn. The last thing that they want to see is articles about what went wrong. Let's celebrate what went right with him. Obviously the hand of God is a very contentious issue with him, but rest in peace, Diego. And the football world is worse off not having you there. Your passion. You remember the World Cup in I think it was in Russia. You saw his passion on the sideline for his team, and it was something else to watch. I remember watching the games with my brother, and it was watching an Argentina game was having him on the sideline was an experience in itself, and I can only imagine how he was in the dressing room and stuff like that. So it's one of those things, and we've lost a lot of people this year, and I think it's important that we realize, guys, that we're not all going to be here forever, and especially with COVID around, most of us have managed to live through a pandemic, and not many people can say that. So a lot of people have lost loved ones this year. So treasure those close to you. I've got a little family of my own, and I love them and I treasure them. And things like this make you wake up and realize that, hey, in the grand scheme of things, that beef that I had with that person, or that argument, or that fight wasn't really worth it. So guys, just treasure the people around you. Make sure that they know that you do love them, and stuff like that. So yeah. So before I start getting emotional, I'm gonna end off there, guys. So rugby this weekend, Pumas versus Sharks tonight. Obviously the cricket, England versus South Africa tonight, and then on Sunday, I think it's an afternoon game. And then obviously more Currie Cup action tomorrow. I will keep updating the page, guys. Give it a like, give it a share, and I will see you again possibly next week. Otherwise, have a fantastic weekend. I'll see you guys again soon. Cheers, have a good one.